Hello, Edna.
Hi.
Hello, Godfrey.
Hi, Shamira.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Good. Currently, we are having issues with strikes here and there, demonstrations, most especially political demonstrations. And this pressure is coming especially from the youth. I hear Free Bobby Wine hashtags, I hear Manyato Jukwata hashtags and all that. And then the only way you're seeing youth is demonstrating, burning tires, doing this. How do you think the youth can change? They can express their dissatisfactions or change any issue that is they are dissatisfied about or their discontentment. How can they express it as far as politics is concerned?
I think that first of all, demonstrations and strikes and riots are a very, very, very valid way to express dissatisfaction. I've often heard older people especially say young people are disorganized, they won't solve anything by violence, they call it violence even when the demonstrations are peaceful, and I insist that it is a very, very valid way. That we should not dismiss, we should not allow other people to tell us that it doesn't matter, because it does matter. It has moved certain things in different countries, but even in our context. Yeah. But I think that it's important that because young people are not at the decision-making table, it's important that we then find a way to campaign and get into positions of decision-making. I have looked at the parliament and seen that and realized that the young MPs who are trying, the likes of Bobby and others, and Adeke, I think that they are overwhelmed. Yeah? They are overwhelmed and they can't do it alone. So I think that perhaps one of the ways that we could try a different way, which all the ways should work, but we should then focus to have more young people in parliament come in the next elections. Now, of course, because elections are dependent on money, financing, and many times party backing, those may be challenges that we may have to deal with. But I think that if we get together and have it as a whole, then we can manage to at least have a few more people in parliament. And that way, we get to then be at the table and make legislation.
Professor, how do you think youth can best change or express their discontentment as far as politics is concerned?
Yes, thank you so much. I think one of the mistakes or things that governments ignore is not letting young people involved in policy making or participating in decision making of the nation. And I think that's the grave mistake that a government can do, not involve the youth. I'll give an example like Uganda. The youth form the largest proportion of our population. And I have a feeling that the youth must be involved in decision making or policy making if we are to have the effective policies. And I'll just give two of my opinions which I think we can involve the youth in decision making or policy making. One is the governance which is participative or participative governance, which is inclusive, which will bring the youth also participate in governance. This is on the side of government. Government has to take a role to involve the youth in decision making. Some of the governments have ignored the role of the youth in decision making, but just as like I said, the youth form the biggest proportion, and that's the greatest mistake that we can make. So youth have their issues which must be considered when decisions are being made. Take an example of like young girls. There is violence against young girls and young women. So they have to have their views considered when policies are being made or decisions are being made. Also the issues to do with unemployment in the country, and this directly affects the youth. They have to be considered. So when there is a participative governance or participatory approach used in governance, where government says, hey, let's have the youth on board, let's involve them, let's consult them. If it is consultative approach, we should bring them on board. Their views will be heard. And another approach, which I want to call the hybrid approach, is where the youth stand out themselves. They break the ceiling and they say, we have to have our voices heard, our views and our interests also recognized in policy making or decision making of the country. That hybrid approach involves the use of the advocacy campaign, coalitions for the youth, and they exploit, for instance, technology. We have technologies in place, for instance, social media, that they can use social media to make sure that their views are heard. I'll give an example. If the youth, for instance, use Twitter or Facebook or any other thing, remember our members of parliament are also on these platforms. You can reach your MP even if you are not in parliament via such a platform. So I think that hybrid approach where the youth can be like, I'm not just going to sit back, but my view has to be heard. And they use such an approach, their views will be recognized. And such coalitions, for instance, the youth coming together and forming groups, their voices will be heard. But also this brings us to the point of, if the youth are to form such coalitions, for example, they have to be empowered. So still the government has something to do how to empower these youth. And internationally, we have, if you are to have a successful system of governance, it has to be inclusive, not leaving out anyone behind. Consider the Sustainable Development Goals, we talk about the issues of inclusiveness. No one should be left behind. The youth have been marginalized to some extent, I must say. For instance, Uganda, we have young generation, and you find that the youth are not involved, for instance, at the higher level of decision making. That is marginalization, I think. So those are my 2 points that I can make on this very question.
Yeah, still at that. Do you think dialogue is something that we can use in expressing this commitment or change, considering the fact that even our leaders recently had a national dialogue and then even the one party had to miss? Do you think the youth can take that path and we get there?
I think that quite honestly, we cannot continue to dialogue. There is only so much or so far we can dialogue. For us it's important, and there are people who would do the dialogue. I think that it's important to do the mix-up of methods and change. Because I think that there has been a lot of dialogue. And most of the time when there is dialogue, people talk and everything that has been spoken stays in that table or in that room. And they still go ahead and do something different. Even when the leaders met, just recently there was another incident which then would bring to us what was discussed and what was agreed on, and did they even take understand. And I think that dialogue is often sold to young people as a way of pacifying. As you know, you just talk, you don't have to, go on social media and shout, you don't have to go to the streets, just dialogue. But clearly we have seen that our leaders do not respond well to dialogue. And so, whereas all those people who can dialogue should keep on dialoguing, we can continue doing other things and other measures and use social media and go to the streets if we must, and get into our parliament if we get into it.
Professor, as a professor, professors are so much into the theory part and what. Do you think we can dialogue and get to where we want to be as well?
I strongly believe there are different ways of doing things, and this is where we have to appreciate different methods. I don't think it is appropriate to say that it is one of the things. So I appreciate dialogue also once. And I believe that this is the point, especially where the allies, the youth are educated. For example, in Uganda we have some who are even highly educated. This is, I think, their platform for expressing their views through such dialogues. I believe they can work to some extent. And another thing in policy engagement or policy advocacy, you have to be patient. This is one of the things that we have to appreciate as the youth. At times we want things which come so fast, so quickly, but I strongly believe there is also need for some patience when we are doing our policy engagement or we are trying to involve in decision making or policy making. So dialogues may not result there immediately, and they may not produce an immediate result, but I believe at the end of the day, your voice is heard. That is at least the first thing you have achieved. Your voice has been heard. But for example, yes, violence is also another way of expressing your views. So
I wouldn't say violence. I think that violence is meant to then project it as a bad thing. But these demonstrations, all that demonstrations you talk about, have been peaceful until the Uganda police brought tear gas and people started running and some looting. So you see that the source of violence is not, young people are not violent. Whereas there is a group of unemployed who are taken to crime, which is as a result of unemployment. cannot say, you cannot continue, they cannot continue to project young people as violent people because young people are not violent. I've seen people go and march peacefully on the streets until, of course, police brings, it only becomes a riot and a matter of, oh my God, there was violence, somebody was stepped on, or somebody was shot or knocked down when authorities come to disrupt.
Yeah, that's the point actually I wanted to make. I wanted to say that someone may express through violence, but I disagree with violence, but I believe demonstrations, peaceful ones, because it is a human right, freedom of association. So it is, when it becomes violence, that's when I think it is out of hand. But if it is expression through a demonstration, I totally agree with it. And I believe it can also send a message to the policy makers or the decision makers, and it really works. So we have to appreciate the various methods we can use as the youth to make sure that our views are heard and are considered in the policy process.
Yeah, you're right. Speaking about patience, Professor told us about patience, but then I'm also requesting our MPs, please. One time we had a training with the youth, and they were explaining how they went to speak to Parliament about some certain things, and they were not heard. They didn't even wait for them to express anything. So they were cut short before even expressing anything. So I think they should listen to these youth, and we can take dialogue. I won't say we can take violence, but what should I say? So you can follow us and you can give in your comments and we keep this conversation moving. So you can tell us, do you think dialogue can work, or you think the violence parties had more than this dialogue?
Demonstration.
Okay, demonstration.
Okay,
Thank you.